Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. This is the place where women over 60 come to be inspired. And my guest today is Ariane Poole. Ariane is a professional makeup artist. She has been working with celebrities and real women for many, many years, now 30 years I think it is.
Oh, add another 10 onto that.
Okay, 10, 40, well anyways, just for a while. And she knows what she's talking about and our community loves her. And so I'm so happy to have her back here today. Ariane actually has her own makeup line, which is fantastic, but she's always talking about other products that are, great too. She has a show often on QVC in the UK and TVSN in Australia. So she's sharing her wisdom around the world. Welcome, Ariane.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Margaret, and thank you to your community for having me as well.
Thank you, and they do embrace you. They love you because of that, Ariane. You're very real. You're just you're trying very respectfully to deal with this aging issue. And a lot of women in their 60s, I think, feel that makeup is not for them. That they can't look young anymore. There's no point in that, and you sort of forget that makeup isn't about looking young. It's about feeling great, and it changes, throughout our life in the different stages that we go through. And we were chatting about this, and I thought it would be a great conversation to have about how we view makeup for every age, how we think about it in our 20s, 30s, and so on. And I know you do a lot of seminars and workshops, and that this is a topic that you talk about. So let's start and just tell us what your view is on that whole process.
Well, what you said is that, we think that a makeup is supposed to be making us look younger.
Right.
It's not. It's just it's supposed to make us look great for whatever age we are. Okay?
Totally.
And I think that people or the media have put this sort of misconception that it's supposed to make us look more youthful.
Exactly.
No, whatever age we are, look great. Okay,
yeah,
That's how I look at it. We look great at every age. Every age is different, and we all have our plus points at whatever age we are at.
Totally.
So when I talk to women of all age groups, but mainly women sort of 45, 50 plus. So in our age group. And what I say to them is, in our teens and 20s, that's the time that we were most experimental. At least most of us were experimental. We could wear that bright blue eyeshadow with the green lipstick and the orange blusher. And, people would just put it down to you being young and being experimental and being just, crazy. As we get towards our 30s, we start to become more business orientated or work orientated, and we become more professional, and we want a more polished image. So out go the wild colors and things like that. And we want things that will give us that professional appearance. But what I always say to women is, it's about the techniques that we employ as we get older. We have to adapt those the different techniques.
Yes.
For example, if you said to somebody who was 18, "Wow, sorry, I thought you were 25," they would go, "Okay."
Thank you. Exactly. Exactly.
If you went to somebody who was 45 and said, "Oh, I thought you were you were in your 60s," or if you're somebody in your 60s, "Oh, I thought you were 80," or if you're 80, you were like, and older, you wouldn't be standing there saying, "Oh, thank you." You'd be going, "Oh, okay.
I am what I am, but I would like to look my age at least, not older."
So, and it's, I'm not saying that people should go around guessing people's ages, but what I'm saying is it's very interesting that when you're younger, you take that aging as a compliment. When you're older, you don't want to.
That's very true.
You actually are. You don't mind being perceived at your age, and you take it as a great compliment if someone says you're a year or 2 years younger, or maybe 3 years younger or more. Then you take it as a compliment. But none of us want to look older than we need to.
Well, I think what you're saying actually is really true. I mean, there's another word that comes up when you're a teenager and in your 20s, and that's you want to look unique. You want to try things that really are, like you said, are experimental. You're just a little bit less risk averse. You don't really care. You're just experimenting. And then when you're in your 30s, we don't like to say it, but we're in a social structure that expects women to look a certain way. And so we try to fit in to achieve our career goals, like you were saying. And then what happens when you're 40?
Well, then you start getting into where you have children. So you've got, you might start a family in your 30s. And most women nowadays start their families in their 30s.
Yes, it's true.
People start in their 20s. That's more rare than common. Whereas in the old days,
18, 19. Yeah.
That's when you had your children.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like you're in your 30s and you have your kids. So you've also become very time poor, especially if you're working and looking after the home and looking after your children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Into your 40s and your time constraints are this narrowed down to next to nothing.
Yes.
You have little time to spend on yourself. That's the time also that you start noticing the signs of aging starting to appear. So you're filled with this like, oh my gosh, I've got to find ways of doing things. So you want things that are simplified because you have got your time poor, but you still want things that make you look a little bit more youthful than maybe you did when you were 20.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to adapt again the different techniques of application, different types of products. When you get towards your 50s, this is a real interesting one because so many women I speak to are terrified of turning 50, but not terrified of turning 60. So once they've done the 50s, you get to 60, and it's almost like, yeah, bring it on. Right. But it's really interesting. But the 50s, I think, is a challenging time for many women because
I agree with you.
Yeah, they're going through they're starting to go through, or they're going through the menopause. Their skin is changing in a way that they are not familiar with. It's not, it has nothing to do with anti-age. Yeah. You can't anti-age a hormonal thing, although you can take various supplements and hormone replacement and all of that. You're not going back to when you were 20. So you have to look at makeup in a very different kind of way. That's when they start coming out with this less is more, which lighter weight products. Less is more doesn't mean no makeup. It means lighter weight products, sheer weight things that you can build up, things that you don't have to, plaster on, things that you're not going to put it on and it's going to age you even more. Right. And when we get into our 60s, I think there's almost like a slight liberation because
we know what, we accept and embrace our aging. Yeah.
We've done all that, and because of communities and your things like 60andMe, you're giving us all fantastic information, not just from the cosmetic point of view, but from all your yoga and your fashion and your travel. I mean, suddenly you're giving the 60-year-old that positive. And I know there's a lot of people in your community that are in their 50s because I speak to them.
Yes, I know.
I'm only 58 or I'm only 55.
I've been 58 for 3 years. But one thing I wanted to say there, Ariane, which I really agree with you on, is that 50s, I think we probably should have called it 50andMe, because that is when not just your skin and your body changes, but all of those other emotional, psychological shifts. You get divorced in your 50s. Your children leave home or are going to college. You've got your work you're becoming maybe downsized or out, let go even in your 50s. You can't ignore ageism in our world. It's there. But 50, that's where they start to sell you all these anti-aging products. Like you'll be successful if only you look like you're 40 again. So 50 is really hard, I think.
I think 50s are very difficult. 50s is like teenage years.
I think so. I agree with you.
You're going through that transition.
Uncertainty.
I've got friends that are in their 50s. I listen to them and they go off on rants and they go off on things and they're anti-rational and things like that. But I know that it's hormonal because they'll be fine the next day.
Yes. No, I know.
It is, and I went through it myself. So I'm not saying that I was, I sailed through and I would listen to this one lady on a podcast where she's going, I was screaming at my child. And then she walked away. She went, I just was acting like a maniac.
Well, at least she was self-aware. No, I know.
Oh my gosh, that was me. So
but that is, I think, the worst time where you feel the most insecure, and that you use makeup to feel young, to look younger. At least you try. And then when you're sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. So you're trying, and you're using makeup that if you're going through those hot flushes, it's not working for you. So you get really frustrated. So by the time you hit your 60s, you may think, forget it, just don't bother, because you've had that bad experience through your 50s, or not bad experience, but not so great experience. Some people have a good experience. I'm not saying this is blanket, but from a lot of the people that I've observed, and then you get to your 60s and you think, oh, why bother? Well, the reason why you bother is because you want to feel good. And I think
totally.
If I'm feeling tired and I can make myself look untired, psychologically, I feel untired.
It's so true. And I think in the 60s, it's not that you give up and that you don't want makeup to make you look, it's not going to make you look younger. You know this. I mean, you know that you can see the wrinkles, and and the bags under your eyes. You can do things with technique, but it's not that you don't care. It's just that you want to still feel like the inner person, which is this young, energetic, vibrant woman. And makeup is more fun and it's more fun rather than more an effort.
Yeah. It's enhancing, it's bringing out.
Yes, empowering.
It's not masking, it's empowering, giving you that sense of joy back. And
yes.
I mean, not everyone wants to wear makeup, and I'm not here to preach that you should, because I don't think that that's right. But I love the thing, you did a piece not too long ago about Jane Seymour, which I absolutely love, because I've worked with her many times, and to me, she's kind of, as a woman in her 60s, she is out there. She is vibrant. She is vivacious. She is, energetic. She's got all those things going on. And then I'm looking at other women as well that are, older, like Goldie Hawn, who again, I really like. And then I just saw recently Iris Apfel, the lady who is in the 90s. She's had a Barbie name.
Yeah, she's great.
I want, because I'm looking at that. It's showing us that, aging is how we make it. And, we can choose how we age. I mean, aside from illnesses and things like that, but we can choose to,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing about those people that you've mentioned is that when you look at their pictures, they've got wrinkles.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not perfect. I look at Helen Mirren, and I look at her face, and she has got definite, lines. I think she's in her 70s now, or Judi Dench, who's in her 80s, and they're not trying to hide the wrinkles, but the makeup that they use is playful, and like you said, it's empowering and liberating.
And it doesn't make them look older. It makes them look vibrant, which is what they are, as the essence of them. So if makeup helps bring out that essence of you, then by all means embrace it. If it's something that you feel that you don't need or you don't want, hey, that's okay too.
And you actually can go back to be a little bit experimental too. And like you were saying earlier about, when you're in your 1820s, you can be experimental because you want to look older. Well, try it the reverse when you're in your 60s and just I put some green eyeshadow on the other day, and it was great. People loved it. And
you did a tutorial on some colored eyeshadows a while back.
It was Kiko. Yeah.
I loved it. I saw a lady the other day when I was out shopping, and she was definitely in her late 60s, maybe even early 70s. She had this blue eyeshadow on, but rather than making her look like an old lady, it made her look more, she had really cool clothes on. She looked sensational. You look at someone and you think, I really want to go up there and say, you look fantastic. Sometimes I will do that, but this wasn't appropriate where she was and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. So yes, you can be experimental. You can try color. That's why, try a colored liner, try a brighter lipstick. You don't have to, you don't have to be clown-like, but you can, have those accents, which are really nice.
Makeup is just another accessory, isn't it? It's just another thing that you wear, like a necklace or a dress, or it's just another accessory to have fun with and to talk about who you are, your personality.
Yeah, and some people, they like to be au naturel because that's how they feel comfortable.
Exactly.
And if you are somebody that likes to wear a lot of bling and lots of stuff, hey, that's great too. And if you're queen like you and I, hey, that's great as well. So there's lots of different, we're all, to me it's about embracing our differences rather than saying blanketing all us into one little cubby hole saying that we should all be wearing this or that.
Well, I'm really glad we had this conversation because people really, I think, do ask me several times, why do you bother with makeup tutorials? Why do you do these things? And it's because women in our 60s want this other way of expressing who we are. And it's just another fun way to do what you just described. And I'm really happy that your makeup line, for example, is not, you've got a wide range of things. You've got beautiful deep colors, and you've got very fine, nice, thin, lightweight foundations, things that you can take a spectrum of approaches and, techniques to. It's good.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not one saying that people have to do it, but if it makes you feel better, I'm all about whatever makes you feel good, you should do.
Positive aging. Thanks so Thank you, Arian. It's a great conversation. Hope you enjoy it. And please join the conversation below. Let us know. I actually put a question here. I mean, why are you interested in makeup? I mean, if you've got this far in this interview, you must have some interest in makeup. So what is it about makeup that you enjoy? I'd like to know that so we can have a chat, have a conversation. Thank you very much, Arian, for your time again. It's wonderful to speak with you.
You too, Margaret. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our 60andMe YouTube channel and also visit our website. We are a strong and dynamic community of women over 60. We're challenging aging stereotypes, and every day we share fascinating stories, interesting questions, and great conversation.